few days ago, I've mentioned about June festivities. I mentioned the topic when I was speaking about idolatry, and that the Christian should not take part of this kind of celebration. And I didn't go deep into the topic because we were not talking about it, but many asked about June festivities. I'll read a few questions. You, Bishop, spoke about June festivities and I really enjoy them. They're very fun. But is it a sin to attend June festivities? Another question is, what is the problem in taking part in June festivities? Is it a sin to take part? The traditional dance. It has been a while I haven't heard this name, quadrille, related to June festivities. It took me back to my school days. Indeed, I would be part of the quadrille in the June festivities, which was a traditional dance done in schools. But it's been a while I haven't heard this name related to June festivities, because quadrilles in Portuguese also means criminal organizations. Anyway, what is the issue regarding the June festivities? I want to make a remark for the people who follow us and who are Catholics, because what I will say here is not to attack you, but I will speak about history. And it's good for you to do some research. It's good for you to know the root of things. So what I will say here, it's not my opinion or the evangelical or Catholic opinion, is a fact of history. Let's go then. The June festivities, which are celebrated in June. Why in June? Here we start. Why a celebration in June? What happens in June? In nature, in the seasons of the year, what happens? What happens is, here in the eastern hemisphere, in the south side of the planet, is the beginning of winter. In the western hemisphere, we have the beginning of summer. What does that mean in June? 21st of June, here winter begins. In the US, for example, summer begins. These June festivities are related to the pagan festivals that celebrated the summer solstice there in Europe, especially. What is a solstice? The solstice is the day that in the Western Hemisphere, in this case, has the longest day of the year. Because the sun is closest to the earth, closest to the Western Hemisphere, because the earth is inclined towards the sun, then on the 21st of June, there is the summer solstice, which means is the longest day, is the day that there's more sunlight. You notice that. There are certain times of the year that day breaks earlier and also that the sun sets later. Why? Because of this inclination of the earth towards the sun. So this solstice was the longest day, the day that the sun was the closest to the earth. So in pagan festivities, they celebrated in the month of June this phenomenon, this fact that the sun is closest to the earth, and as the sun has always been worshipped as a god by pagan tradition, because it is always associated with rain, fertility, and people thought if we present offerings to the sun, to the god of the rain, we will prosper, our agriculture will be more prosperous, the animals will prosper. So these celebrations that happened way before these June festivities they worshipped elements of nature with the aim to receive fertility and prosperity. Is that okay? So with the advent of Christianity, more specifically the Catholic Church spreading throughout Europe, what did it do? You who follow us regularly, you will remember that we explained a few months ago, in the times of Carnival, we explained the origin of Carnival and why Carnival is something spiritual. And we spoke about Carnival being associated with Easter. Carnival happens days after Easter. All these festivities are connected to the religious calendar. Why? Because when the Catholic Church started to spread its domain, it had a conflict with these pagan celebrations. In the culture of those days, they worshipped pagan gods. What did the Catholic Church do? To try to absorb and to attract people to them, they gathered pagan celebrations with religious celebrations. They mixed both things. It's what they call religious syncretism. Syncretism comes from syncing things. So the Catholic Church, trying to attract the pagans to them, they mixed the pagan festivities with parallel celebrations to bring those celebrations to them. This is when the June festivities came about. So they called these celebrations after Catholic saints. That's why in June they celebrate the Valentine's Day, which is referring to the day of Saint Anthony, which is also known as the saint related to love life. Come on, Bishop. I was preparing everything for Valentine's Day. I'm just telling you history. Calm down. I'm just sharing history here with you. And then there's the day of Saint John, which is the main Catholic saint celebrated in June. And then there's Saint Peter. And then they added the Catholic saints to be celebrated in the month of June. Why Saint John, why Saint Peter, Saint Anthony are celebrated in June? I have no clue. But they mixed things for people to celebrate. So it is a June festivities where they celebrate the saints. Actually, it was a pagan celebration that was placed inside the Catholic Church to attract people. And then it developed in Brazil, and then in Brazil it gets even more mixed up with the regional culture, and then the quadrille, those typical food made out of corn, balloons, this type of things. Because this strategy of mixing beliefs is a strategy to bring people closer. You don't attack them, and then people feel welcome. And soon they're calling themselves Catholics. This is a strategy. Then centuries went by, and this remains. June festivities happens in different areas of Brazil, certain places more than the others. I took part in June festivities when I was in school or in the parish of the neighborhood. Every year I'll go there, I'll drink the traditional drinks, all that. I had no idea that that had its origin in religion, in a pagan origin. I had no idea, as most who attend June festivities have no idea what they are doing. Now, think with me. The Church of the Lord Jesus, in the Holy Bible, Christians are called to be saints. In other words, to separate themselves. Saint is not John or Saint Peter. Saint in the Bible are the living Christians who separated themselves from the world, from the pagan ways, to serve God, not because they are better. Saint does not mean I'm better than you. No, it means I choose to separate myself from what does not please God, and I have no doubt or whatsoever that it does not please God for me to be part of a celebration that has its roots in pagan traditions. You know that every celebration has a reason to be. So if the reason for that celebration is a saint made out of wood, plaster, or metal, a pagan god, God the sun, God the moon, whatever it's called, I'm certain that my God, who called me to be the light of the world, I am the light of the world. Jesus is the light of the world and also called his servants the light of the world. I don't need to worship the sun. I don't need to worship any wooden saint, because my God is not made out of wood, plaster, or metal. He's a spirit, so I'm certain that God does not want me to be related with these things. But there's always one who say, but I won't go there to worship the sun or to worship any god. I'll just go there to have fun. But you are promoting, you are sponsoring, you are perpetuating something that happened years ago with its roots in idolatry, pagan tradition, and you want to call yourself a Christian. So it is a matter of waking up. Behind these celebrations, you must evaluate why are they celebrating there? Who is being celebrated? What is being celebrated? You must know if you agree with that, if you want to promote that or not. So it is a matter of conscience. Many say, but it's not for religious reasons. It's because of my family, I like to take my family, the neighborhood gathers together, so on and so forth. Pay attention. If you read the letters of the Lord Jesus to the churches in the book of Revelation, the 7 churches, you see that a recurring topic in the letters where Jesus rebuked the churches, which symbolizes the church today and Christians of today and of every time. The recurring reason for those letters were the mixture that they made with local culture. The church lost its essence, stopped being the light, and joined the darkness, stopped sanctifying itself, and promoted the syncretism, the opposite of sanctification. Sanctification means separation. Syncretism means mixture. The church mixed itself. The church brought darkness within to bring people into the church that they may say, I belong to the church. Do you really think that? Which church is that? Because the Christian church has nothing to do with that. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.